Hi everyone, and welcome back to another Chart of the Week. I'm Lisa Miller. Today we're going to do something a little unconventional. It is getting close to the holiday season and it is definitely getting chilly outside. And we're going to talk about how small wins can actually snowball into something bigger. But I get a lot of questions about how do I even decide what to put in the survey that I do every month. It's 1,000 consumers and I ask a whole host of different questions. Well, part of it is getting ideas from you guys that you send them in. And also I get ideas from the podcast guests that I have on the show. So this particular week is being inspired by Brett Schulman, and he is the co-founder and CEO of Cava restaurants. And he's going to share a quick story about how a very small task can snowball into something bigger.
I don't know if you know General McRaven, William McRaven. He's got a great book and talks about the most important thing you can do every day is make your bed. And you start the day by accomplishing a task. And so you've already done work and accomplished a task when you make your bed every day, and getting into that kind of repetition, that discipline, and that work ethic mindset of having that task and then accomplishing and finishing that task. So yes, I always felt that sense of accomplishment in those roles.
Okay, I have to do a little tangent. So first of all, I'm going to add that question in my survey because I want to be able to say what % of Americans make their bed. And I will say we do, and my kids did at first, like when they were younger, and then all of a sudden teenage years happened and somehow that flew out the window. And I'm pretty sure they don't make their beds now.
So that's the big reveal. Making your bed is the idea that if you do it daily, it can snowball into bigger things and bigger tasks, bigger accomplishments. But about half of Americans make their bed daily, 47% to be exact. But what you can see on this chart is how it varies dramatically by age. So Gen Z is least likely, and boomers are more likely. Maybe some of you are thinking, yeah, that makes sense because I have kids. But if you're a boomer, you may in fact have a Gen Z kid. And so it's just interesting that the parents are making their bed, but the children of boomers are not. But it doesn't stop there. When you look at, there's a gender divide. And so women are 10 points more likely to make their bed than men. So what's the so what, now what? It basically shows that these little tasks, if we do them daily, can actually snowball into big wins and big victories. And it's the repetition that can actually build confidence. So here's a fun story. I was actually talking with Harrison about this, and he shared with me that after recording the Brett Schulman podcast and getting that out the door, he shared that he started making his bed. He actually did it as a kid, but you know how it goes. Sometimes you just get out of that habit. And he, in fact, now believes that sense of accomplishment, that sense of pride, what a great way to start the day. And I hear that from leaders all the time. It may not be making your bed, it may be something else. But what I encourage you to think about is, what is that little task that you want to do every single day to give you that sense of accomplishment? And it is, like I said, a very joyful way to start your day. Until next time.